Okay, so I'm here in Edlesbourough at the Edlesbourough Festival, which is just outside Dunstable. There's several performers this evening, one of whom is Danni Nicholls. Hi Danni, how's it going?
Hi, good, thanks. Yeah, good.
Yes, the venue is a church on a hill, which is literally on a hill.
It is. We've just brought all our gear up the hill and we're all like feeling it. And,
yes.
The clue was in the title of the venue, Church on the Hill, but it sort of didn't compute.
Yes, it'd be a good time to do the Kate Bush cover maybe.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, well, maybe we'll bring that one out.
Yes, running up that hill. Anyway, so what have you been up to recently?
Well, I've just finished my UK tour, which was about, I think it was 12 dates in the end around the UK,
yes.
Which was amazing to be, doing after such a long time of no shows. But
yes.
I'd rescheduled it 3 times over the last 3 years. So it was really amazing to finally be out on the road with 2 great musicians by my side. We went out as a trio and
yes.
we played literally all over the country. So had a great time. So that's the main thing, really. And
yes.
now... there's a little bit of a gap before the next tour, and a few smatterings of gigs, and that's tonight is one of those, which is really nice to have.
Yes, and I believe after tonight you're on a bit of a US tour, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, heading over to the US end of June for shows throughout July and August, some in September as well. So,
yes.
I've waited a long time to get to the US to do shows, and
yes.
It was somewhat delayed by the last few years, but
that's right.
Finally going to get over there, and I'm doing Mile of Music Festival in Wisconsin, and some shows in Nashville and Atlanta and all over the place. So it'll be fun.
And North Carolina, because we interviewed a couple of musicians from North Carolina at Green Note last week.
Okay.
And you've got a show coming up there as well.
Yes, that's in Asheville, North Carolina. Yeah, that's at Isis Music Hall in the lounge there. So
yes.
It's a destination I've always wanted to visit. So
yes.
Cannot wait for that.
Well, on to tonight, and I'll just describe the scene for our listeners. So we're stood outside the church, and it's green fields all around here, isn't it?
It's beautiful. We're literally up on a hill. We can see hills and trees and fields 360 for miles and miles, and it's really special. So amazing.
And I think there was a kite going past there, as in a kite bird, not a...
Yes, I wondered what it was. It was big, whatever it was, but it was basically at eye level because we're up on this hill. So that was it was impressive.
I think it was a kite, yes. Anyway, there's just sound checks going on now. I think you might be sound checking shortly.
Yeah.
So tell us about the festival. Is it one you've played at before?
It is not. They reached out of the blue to say, would you like to come and play? And
yes.
of course, it's fairly local to me
yes.
here, and
yes.
It just looked like such a lovely event to be a part of, so I jumped at the chance. So it's really nice to be asked, and I can't wait for tonight's show.
Yes, because you are Bedfordshire based, is that right?
That is correct, yes. not too far from here.
No, well, I believe you kind of spend your time between the UK and the US.
Yeah, generally, there's a couple of trips a year in normal times.
Yes.
It's less these days, but hopefully that's changing, and I'm sort of seem to be spending more and more time out there. So
yes.
It's something I've always loved. I've been traveling to the US my whole life. I have family in the south in Atlanta, so
okay.
I've been going there since I was a kid, and
yes.
it's always just been such an intoxicating place, and I grew up with the music that came from the south, and I just love to go there and hear it and be immersed in it, and so it's something I like to do a lot.
Yes. Now, speaking of ancestors and so on, I believe you have some connections with India, is that right?
It's my mum's side of the family. So my mum was actually born in India. She's Anglo-Indian, which is a whole complicated thing. But my grandparents were born in India, in Chennai in the south, and the Anglo-Indian heritage is sort of a mixture of Indian and the colonial Europeans, and
yes.
it's a really interesting, rich history, and one I'd love to dig into more musically one day.
Yes.
I've been over to India and seen where my family's from, and it's fascinating, really.
Yes. Yeah. Now, speaking of influences as well, I mean, I believe you're very influenced by Nashville as well, is that right?
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah, it's like my favourite place. So much great music. I mean, it's Music City, and so many of my heroes are my favourite songwriters. And back in the, I grew up listening to Johnny Cash and Patsy Cline and Hank Williams, and those characters were ruling the roost there,
Yes.
in those times, and it really has a special energy and history in the air. I feel it as soon as I land, and I think I soak that in when I go, and it helps me write and it helps me be creative, and it's very addictive, let's say.
Yes. Are you visiting there on your next tour?
Yeah, I'll be sort of based out of Nashville, and
Right.
have a spot that I stay at, and sort of pack my bag from there.
Okay.
Each little run of tour, and so I don't have to lug all my stuff around the country with me.
Yes.
And I have some great friends there, and it's just nice to catch up with them. So I'm heading straight to Nashville, and I'll be spending a good few weeks, maybe even months there in the coming months. So
Yes.
good to be back. Yeah.
And it's quite a contrast to here, although maybe not in terms of countryside.
Yeah, it's very different. It's bustling, and it's American, and it's this is a very ye olde England vibe right now,
Yes.
which I love. Of course, it's so beautiful and peaceful.
You're right. It's
and
typically English with a church on a hill. That's
Yeah,
very-
and it's basically where I grew up. It looks exactly like my childhood. I mean, I grew up in Bedford town, but we're
Yes.
surrounded by countryside. So,
Oh, right.
and I do miss that fresh British air.
Yes.
When I go to the swampy heat of the south of the US, I
Yes.
will be missing this, I'm sure.
Yes. Now we must just mention Green Note, because that's where we last saw one of your shows for International Women's Day. Now,
Yes.
do you have any plans to go back to Green Note later in the year?
I would love to. Yeah, I mean, I'm really good friends with Imi and Risa, and it's one of my favourite places to play.
Yes.
I'm not entirely sure if I'll be touring in the UK again this year or not, but it's always top of my list of places to play. So it's highly likely. It's probably the answer.
Yes. And in terms of albums and singles, whereabouts are you at the moment?
Well, I just put out a brand new single called Little Fictions just a few weeks ago, so that was nice to finally get some new music out there. I'm really pleased with that, really proud. So I recorded it in Nashville in September, and the response has been great, and I guess it's the first of a string of things to come. I'm working on some new stuff, and I need to get back in the studio,
Yes.
and I will do that as soon as I can. So watch this space. There's nothing concrete yet.
Yes. Well, it's getting rather windy out here at
It
the
is.
moment, so I think it's time we went inside. And we wish you the best with the show later on tonight, and also the upcoming US tour.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Hi, this is Danni Nicholls on Camden Town Radio. Keep rocking.